Stop teaching my daughter that word. You are a maid.
I taught her nothing. Ask why she remembers the song.
Mommy, don't leave me again.
Soo-ah, look at me. Breathe slowly. I am here with you right now.
Why did you return under another name?
Because the truth was locked inside your house, and she was unsafe.
At 8:17 on a rainy Friday night, every camera in the Hanul Grand Ballroom turned toward the maid holding a silver tray. Maya Bennett had just caught 6-year-old Kang Soo-ah before the child fell from the marble steps. The tray crashed. Crystal shattered. Soo-ah wrapped both arms around Maya's neck, as if she had found someone she had lost. Across the ballroom, Korean billionaire Kang Min-jae stopped beside the charity stage. His face hardened. "Put my daughter down." Maya lowered Soo-ah gently, but the child would not release her uniform. Min-jae crossed the room while guests raised their phones. Beside him, his elegant fiancée, Yoon Seo-rin, whispered that Maya had been trying to get close to the family for weeks. Min-jae looked at Maya's worn shoes, then at the cracked silver key hanging from her neck. "Stop teaching my daughter that word. You are a maid." Maya met his eyes. "I taught her nothing. Ask why she remembers the song." Before he could answer, Soo-ah lifted her tearful face. She had not spoken in 18 months. "Mommy, don't leave me again." Maya cupped her face. "Soo-ah, look at me. Breathe slowly. I am here with you right now." The ballroom became silent, and around the child's wrist was a drawing of the same cracked silver key. Before we uncover why Soo-ah called a stranger mommy, subscribe, like, comment what you think Maya is hiding, and turn on the notification button. This child's next memory will change everything. Min-jae ordered the phones lowered, but it was too late. The moment had already spread through the room. Seo-rin stepped forward. She coached Soo-ah. "This is emotional blackmail." Maya's jaw tightened. "Your daughter spoke. Is your first question really how to punish me?" That answer embarrassed Min-jae more than the staring guests. He told the head of staff to remove Maya from the building and prepare her final pay. Soo-ah screamed without words. She kicked at the floor, clung to Maya's skirt, and pointed at the silver key. Maya knelt. "Little star, breathe with me. In and out." Soo-ah copied her instantly. Min-jae froze. "What did you call her?" Maya stood. "A name she heard before you learned how frightened she was." Seo-rin quickly took Soo-ah's hand. The child pulled away. Maya walked toward the service corridor, carrying nothing except a canvas bag and the cracked key. At the door, she turned back. "Mr. Kang, ask who deleted the first 2 years of your daughter's nursery records." Then she disappeared behind the doors. At midnight, Min-jae sat alone in his penthouse office, watching the ballroom video again. Not the word mommy. Not the broken tray. He watched Soo-ah's body relax when Maya counted her breaths. No therapist had reached her that quickly. Seo-rin placed a folder on his desk. It contained Maya's employment form, a late rent notice, and a court judgment for theft from 4 years earlier. "She is desperate," Seo-rin said. "Desperate people learn where rich families are weak." Min-jae stared at Maya's photograph. Why was her theft case connected to this house? Seo-rin paused for half a second. "Your late wife hired many temporary workers." That pause stayed in his mind. In Soo-ah's room, he found a new drawing beneath her pillow. 3 figures stood under a yellow umbrella. One was small. One wore a dark suit. The third wore a maid's dress and a cracked silver key. On the back, Soo-ah had pressed one shaky word into the paper. Again. The next morning, Min-jae found Maya at a bus stop outside a cheap guest house in western Seoul. Rainwater ran from its broken awning. He held out an envelope. "Enough money to leave Korea and never contact my daughter." Maya did not touch it. "Why did you return under another name?" "Because the truth was locked inside your house, and she was unsafe." "You believe every poor person has a price because everyone near you already does." His voice sharpened. "You entered my home under a shortened name. I used Bennett instead of Bennett Hale because your company's blacklist follows the other name." "Why were you blacklisted?" "Because 4 years ago, I refused to sign a lie." A bus arrived. Maya let it pass. She told him that Soo-ah's mother had hired her as a night caregiver after the baby developed breathing problems. Min-jae had been overseas opening hotels and returning for short visits. Grief and business had kept him distant even before his wife died. Maya cared for Soo-ah for 11 months. She sang the same song every night. She called the baby Little Star. Then smoke filled the nursery one winter morning. Maya carried Soo-ah through the service stairs and suffered burns along her shoulder. Hours later, Seo-rin accused her of stealing jewelry during the evacuation. Security footage vanished. A diamond bracelet appeared in Maya's locker. She was arrested, convicted, and ruined. Min-jae looked at the thin scar above her collar. Why didn't I know? Because you never asked who carried your daughter out. The words struck harder than an insult. Maya touched the key at her neck. Your wife gave me this the night before the fire. She said it opened something important. I came back because the music room was being renovated, and I feared whatever it opened would be destroyed. Why not tell me? I tried. Your office returned every letter. Min-jae thought of the person who had managed his private correspondence for 6 years. Seo-rin. If you believe Maya deserves the truth more than hush money, subscribe, like, comment whether Min-jae can still earn forgiveness, and turn on the notification button. The first proof is about to appear, but it creates a more dangerous question. Min-jae took Maya to an independent records archive beneath Hanul Medical Center. She refused to enter his car until he agreed that she was not returning as his employee. Inside the archive, an old intake report carried Maya's full name. It listed her as Soo-ah's authorized overnight guardian. A second report recorded smoke inhalation, emergency treatment, and a blood transfusion from Maya to the child. The final page held a handwritten note from Soo-ah's mother. If I am unavailable, trust Maya with my daughter. Min-jae read it twice. The woman he had mocked before hundreds of people had once given his child blood. But the medical file also contained a surprise. The nursery fire had not started from a heater, as Min-jae had been told. An electrician had found a cut alarm wire and solvent near a locked cabinet. Someone had wanted the fire to spread long enough to destroy that cabinet. Maya whispered. That cabinet held your wife's trust documents. Min-jae called Seo-rin. Where is Soo-ah? At home, she answered too quickly. A security alert flashed on his phone. Seo-rin had just requested private airport clearance for Soo-ah under an emergency education order. Min-jae and Maya rushed back to Hanul Tower. They found Soo-ah in the music room wearing a coat, while Seo-rin stood beside 2 packed suitcases. The child's face was blank with fear. Seo-rin smiled. Her doctor recommended Switzerland. You are not her doctor, Maya said. Seo-rin's smile vanished. And you are not her mother. Soo-ah moved behind Maya. Min-jae blocked the doorway. Cancel the flight. Seo-rin handed him a psychiatric report claiming Maya's presence had triggered Soo-ah's breakdown, and that immediate separation was necessary. The report carried a clinic seal. Maya studied the date. This was signed yesterday. Before Soo-ah spoke. Min-jae finally saw the pattern. Documents appeared whenever Seo-rin needed him afraid. He tore the order in half. Seo-rin's voice dropped. You will destroy your family for a convicted thief? No, Min-jae said. I may have already destroyed it by trusting you. For the first time, the power in the room shifted. That night, Maya stayed in the guest suite because Soo-ah refused to sleep unless she could see her. Min-jae sat outside the door, not entering, not demanding. Maya joined him in the hallway. I thought providing everything made me a good father, he said. Schools, doctors, security. I never noticed that my daughter stopped looking for me. Maya's anger softened, but only slightly. Regret is not repair. I know. Do you? Because repair means hearing things that make you ashamed without buying your way out. He nodded. Then tell me. She told him Soo-ah had once waited every evening by the nursery window for his car. She told him the child learned not to cry when adults left. She told him Maya had returned not for revenge, but because Soo-ah's mother had trusted her with one unfinished duty. Min-jae looked through the open door at his sleeping daughter. What do you fear is inside whatever that key opens? That your wife knew she was in danger. Min-jae lowered his head. And what do you fear after we find it? Maya answered quietly. That you will apologize, punish one person, and return to being the man who lets other people raise his child. He did not defend himself. He went to the kitchen and returned with tea made too strong. Maya almost smiled. It was the first thing he had done for another person without ordering someone else to do it. You remembered how I take it, she said. I watched you make it for Soo-ah. That is not the same as knowing me. No, he admitted. But I would like to begin. For one quiet second, neither of them looked away. Then Soo-ah cried out in her sleep, and Maya moved first. Min-jae followed, understanding that tenderness did not erase the danger waiting behind the locked music box. The next morning, Soo-ah brought Maya the drawing from the ballroom. She pointed to the cracked key, then to an old wooden music box built into the wall. Maya inserted the key. It turned halfway and stopped. Behind them, Seo-rin appeared holding a small metal fragment. The key broke 4 years ago, she said. You need this piece. She had not come to surrender. She had come to bargain. Give me the box, leave Korea, and I will clear your criminal record, her eyes seemed to say. Before the biggest secret opens, subscribe, like, comment who you trust, and turn on the notification button. The next sound from that music box will expose why Maya was framed and why Soo-ah was silenced. Seo-rin locked the music room doors through the wall panel. Then she placed the missing key fragment on the piano. I protected this family, she said. Min-jae was drowning. His wife was unstable. You were a foreign employee who knew too much. Maya kept her voice calm. If I knew too much, why let me return? I wanted to see whether you still had the key. Min-jae moved toward the panel, but Seo-rin warned that the building's internal archive would erase if he forced the lock. Soo-ah began shaking. Maya knelt and sang the first line of the old lullaby. The child breathed with her. Then Soo-ah walked to the piano, picked up the metal fragment and placed it in Maya's hand. Seo-rin grabbed for it. Min-jae stepped between them. Not with rage. With certainty. You will never frighten my daughter again. Maya joined the two pieces. The cracked key opened the music box. A hidden recorder clicked on. Soo-ah's mother's voice filled the room. She said she had discovered money being moved from Soo-ah's trust into shell companies controlled by Seo-rin. She had hidden copies of the transfers inside the box. Then another voice entered the recording. Seo-rin's. She threatened to make Min-jae believe his wife was mentally unwell. She said the foreign caregiver would be easy to frame. In the background came the scrape of a cabinet and the snap of an alarm wire. The recording ended with Soo-ah's mother saying, Maya, if I cannot protect my child, help her remember that love does not leave on purpose. Soo-ah whispered the sentence with her. She had heard it before. That was why she had stopped speaking. Months earlier, she had overheard Seo-rin repeating the threat while searching for the key. Silence had been the only place where the child felt safe. The music box also held the original trust documents, the missing security memory card, and a sealed letter naming Maya as emergency guardian if Min-jae failed to remain present in Soo-ah's life. Min-jae's face broke. The nuclear truth was not that Maya wanted to steal his daughter. It was that Soo-ah's mother had trusted Maya to protect the child from the people Min-jae trusted most, including the absent version of Min-jae himself. When the doors reopened, company security and investigators were waiting. Min-jae had activated an external emergency alert before entering the room. Seo-rin was removed while the recording, transfers, forged report, and fire evidence were secured. She did not receive a dramatic speech. She received something worse. The loss of control. 3 days later, Min-jae stood in the same ballroom where he had humiliated Maya. This time, the cameras had been invited. He cleared her name. He admitted his failure without excuses. He announced that every judgment and blacklist connected to the false accusation had been challenged and suspended. He also stepped down temporarily from the family foundation until an independent review was complete. Then he faced Maya. I called your poverty proof of dishonesty. It was proof of what my silence cost you. I cannot ask you to forgive me today. Maya answered before the cameras. Good. Because I do not. The room gasped. But I will watch what you do next. For 6 months, Min-jae did the work. He attended Soo-ah's therapy. He learned her breakfast routine. He canceled meetings without making the child feel guilty. He listened when Maya disagreed. He did not ask Maya to return as a maid. Instead, the Independent Foundation offered her a paid role designing safety standards for domestic workers and vulnerable children. She accepted only after the board removed Min-jae from the hiring decision. Slowly, Soo-ah began speaking in full sentences. Slowly, Maya stopped expecting every open door to become a trap. And slowly, Min-jae learned that love was not rescue performed once. It was presence repeated every day. 1 year after the ballroom scandal, the three of them stood beneath a yellow umbrella in the foundation's rooftop garden. Soo-ah held a new drawing. This time all three figures had names. She looked at Maya. "Can I call you Mommy because you choose us, not because I am scared you will leave?" Maya's eyes filled, but she did not answer quickly. Min-jae stepped back, giving her the choice he should have given from the beginning. Maya knelt. "You may call me Maya. You may call me Mama Maya. And one day, if we all keep choosing each other, Mommy can be a promise." Soo-ah hugged her. Min-jae said, "I love you, Maya. But I will not use love to rush you." She looked at him for a long moment. "Then start with dinner. No staff. No comeras. And you wash the dishes." He smiled through tears. "Every dish." Before you go, subscribe, like, comment whether Maya was right to make Min-jae earn his place, and turn on the notification button for the next emotional story. What matters more in a family? Blood, apology, or the choice to stay? The cracked silver key remained in Maya's hand. It no longer opened a secret. It opened a future. And Soo-ah finally understood the words her mother had left behind. Love does not leave on purpose.